This is Katie Schmitz for Research Methods 2018 summer semester with Professor Anirban Avia. Throughout the class, we discussed things. We had three main topics, which were discourses, methods, and context. So for the first part, we're looking at the importance of research in architecture. Architecture without research does not make sense. It could end up becoming unsuccessful and harmful to the ecosystem. Some more debates on a community-based project is expert knowledge versus local knowledge, social behavior, and architecture representing its time. So looking at history and doing your research and making sure you know what you're doing and what the client needs and what the community needs, instead of just assuming, hey, it worked here, so it'll work at this other location as well. There's also hidden ecosystems to consider. So you need to do your research before you dig up anything on the site. Literally or figuratively, you need to figure out what's going on and what are all the elements that are hidden from the public that don't surface until it's too late. What if architecture worked without research? Would the architecture be as successful if it didn't require research? Would architecture still be as impactful? I don't think it would. I think you need that research and all that background information to create something that would be impactful. And secondly, importance of community involvement in an architectural project. A community involvement project is more likely to become used if people are involved in the design process. Members that give their opinions and add their personal touches allow the designer and architecture to create a public space that is beneficial to community. And then you also have that pride of ownership that a community member will have if they helped out. So for my project, my constituents would be the type of plaza, or the type of place that I wanted to use as a plaza. Constituents would be families with children, probably under the age of 14. Some definitions that I came up with along the way would be community, which is a group of people who live in the same area and have similar values in their way of life and how they want their neighborhood to function. And secondly, plaza, a gathering place in a city or community that is used by all age groups and for any type of activity. Plazas also have typologies that can be applied to create new ones, as you can see in the diagrams to the right. Method that I would want to use in my project is mapping and diagramming. I think they're so important both for me to plan out things and figure out the project, and also a way to present my project to other people. I can put specific drawings or images on a wall and say, let's talk about this, and I could really focus the discussion on that one particular element instead of having to look at every single thing that's going on in the project. So contextual elements of a plaza. So we're going into the case study, which is bilateral office called Gathering Lines. It is a series of worm-like benches that weave in and out of existing site conditions such as trees, trash cans, street signs, etc. The goal of the project is to improve the existing promenade without disturbing the site. A contextual element that I found from their project was social and cultural behaviors. So the Promenade Fleury, the street that our office used to create the project, is an active commercial street with over 240 stores, restaurants, cafes, businesses, and even residences. These types of destinations create the heart of a neighborhood, and the promenade is a large social anchor for Montrealers who are known for their social lives. So creating these benches allowed the locals to sit and enjoy some fresh air and socialize with their friends or even strangers. Secondly, urban fabric. So they chose to place benches all through the promenade to use at various types of day. The existing trees, streetlights, established businesses help determine which type of bench charm that would be added and where and when it would be most useful. So the charms that I'm talking about are little clip-ons, so it would be a parasol, a planter, a backrest, and a couple other things so that you can place in front of each store or residence that would make sitting on a bench a little bit more comfortable and make you want to stay longer and possibly go back into the store that you were just in. They hoped to create a unique character and making the promenade as a unique place to experience and gather. So it's not just every other street, because it's not. It's such a popular area that they want to make it as unique as it already is. So the third thing I pulled from them was site-specific conditions. Again, they considered everything that was in the site. They didn't want to disturb anything. They just wanted to enhance what was already there. So weaving through lampposts, trees, things like that, street signs, to add these benches would be good for the area. The architects noticed the ample lighting and many trees on the street, but thought the street furniture could use some improvement. So a contextual element that I want to use for my project would be program. A program of a plaza can be very specific, but it can also be up to interpretation. So you could have a few set things, such as a feature like a fountain, a sitting area, bike paths, or an area for vendors to set up, but you could still have all those other open areas that are up to interpretation by the user. Secondly, so I want to look at site-specific conditions. As a designer, you cannot just ignore what's already there. Whether you remove it or you amplify it, you're still acknowledging that it exists and that it is important to the site, whether, again, you remove it or you amplify it. Third thing is social and cultural traditions. So some things that already happen in cities is that people go outside, walk to lunch, walk to go get food from like a food vendor, food trucks that could be set up for those 9 to 5ers, Monday to Friday. And then there's also, on the weekends, there'll be food trucks for the people who go down for concerts or local festivals or activities like farmers markets. So that concludes my project.